Welcome to a new video on my home automation, OpenHub and Node-RED playlist. In this video I'm going to play around with my phone, especially the Google Home. I'm going to use the voice recognition in the phone to talk to Node-RED and do something physically in my house. So for example, turn on this slide here. As always, the link to the code I'm showing in this video is in the video description. Home, turn on the test light.
Okay, turning on the test light.
Home, turn off the test light.
Okay, turning off the test light.
Home, give me the solar statistics for today.
The solar system is currently generating 115.3 watts. Total generation today is 3.0 kilowatt hours.
Before I dive into the details, let me give a very high-level overview of the whole process. It all starts with me talking to the phone, and especially talking to Google now. Google now recognizes these the words that I'm saying. Well, it does it in most cases with my English, but anyway, that's a different story. So it recognizes most of the things I'm saying, and there are a couple of applications running on the phone which also listen to this communication, and they look for a specific keyword. So as you have noticed, all my sentences start with the word home, so it listens to that, and if it finds that, then instead of doing the usual Google search, it sort of like intercepts those commands and send them over to Node-RED, and then Node-RED tries to analyze it, like am I asking something to be turned on, I'm asking something about my solar system, and if it can recognize some of these, then it's going to act upon, for example, give me the solar statistics or turn the lights on. And other than that, it's going to send a message, a text back to the phone, which the phone is going to say out loud, like, okay, turning on the lights, or, you know, this is the solar statistics for today. So that's all the whole logic in a nutshell. And now first let's look at the Android application that needs to be installed and set up to make this process work. And then after that, second, we go into Node-RED and see how the code looks like in Node-RED. The two applications we are going to use is well, actually are here in the Google Play Store. So the first one is the AutoVoice, and this does this integrates with Google Now, and this is the module which can work with Google and intercept some of the recognitions that are happening in Google Now. And it has two versions. I actually paid for the version which costs this much. Well, I think I paid for that. Maybe, well, anyway, then it should say that just download. Anyway, so you need to no, I did this one, sorry. So so I use this one, the simple AutoVoice, which was free. And you can read it here, like, it does all the things. And it's pretty good because there is nothing that needs to be done in AutoVoice. So you just install it and then it's done and running. The next application is the Tasker. Again, I think there are different versions of Tasker. It seems, again, I'm using this one, and actually you can see it's quite a popular one. And besides using this for the Google Now automation or the integration, you can do a lot of other things. So if you want to make your life easier, you should go to Google and then just search for Tasker and the things that you can do. But let's go over to the phone and let's see how to set up these two applications. So as I showed, there are two applications we are going to use for this demo. One is the AutoVoice, which you just installed. There's nothing to be set up there. And the other one is the Tasker. When we open Tasker, we are on the Profiles tab, and we need to create a new profile. So you click on plus, and then you can select the event and the plugin and the AutoVoice. So we are using the AutoVoice to create an event. And there are a couple of options here, and we are going to use this recognized option, because the way we are going to set up these voice commands, that there will be a special like keyword in the beginning of the voice command that the Tasker is going to listen to, and if that command is found, that is going to basically route this via this application instead of sending out to Google and waiting for Google to respond to that. So so that's the auto voice recognize. So in the configuration we come here and then we say that okay, we want to speak a filter that we want to do, and in my case I'm starting all these comments with the word home, and you might want to use something else which you wouldn't use otherwise in any other Google Home queries. So you click here to speak filter, home. Yeah, so you just say whatever the keywords you want to say. It's going to give you a couple of options, so I'm fine with home, and then you okay that, and basically you come out of the profile settings, and once this profile is created, then you are going to create a new task. So I'm already have a task created, so I'm not going to click on new task. I'm just going into this task and show the details of it. So this is how my task looks like, and as you can see, it's basically it consists of two steps. One is an HTTP GET, and the other one is a SAY. So with the words and with the entire command recognize, the tasker is going to send an HTTP command to my Node-RED, and I'm going to implement an HTTP request in the Node-RED to handle that. And then Node-RED is going to do all the recognition, is going to do all the actions like, you know, turning the LED on or off, and finally it's going to come back with a result, and I'm going to use the say command to actually, you know, make Tasker to read that command out loud. So this is how I get the response back, like, okay, what was my solar generation, or the fact that I managed to turn the lights on or off. So when you come here, when you create something new, this screen is going to be empty, so you just create a new one. So the HTTP is under action category net and HTTP GET, and so I'm just going to go into the details of it so we see. So the first one is we have to create we have to specify the server port. So I have configured HTTPS on my Node-RED instance, and I've also set up the basic authentication. So I have HTTPS://username: password at the IP of the server and the port, and the path is Google, and that's going to be the HTTP request that I implement in in Node-RED, and in the attributes we want to sense the words that got recognized by AutoVoice. So in the attributes I say text equals, and I insert this command, and you can use this variable selection to do that, but basically you have to type this in the attributes, and I haven't said anything else, so that's pretty much it. So the second action which needs to be created is the say action, which again you click here to plus, and it's under category alert, and it's here which says say. And again, going into the details, it's pretty simple. I mean, you can set out, like, you know, the speed and the pitch and some other stuff, but the text that needs to be said is coming through these parameters. So this is the HTTP response that Node-RED is sending back to the phone. So again, you can access it from here. I can't remember what's the actual name of it, but if you just type %HTTPD, then that's going to be fine. And that's all there is to it to set up the tasker. So again, this is the code which makes all of this work in Node-RED. It looks a little bit complicated, but actually it is fairly simple. First, we create an HTTP in, so that's the request which is going to receive the information from the phone, and it's going to analyze. So this node is probably a little bit heavy, but this does all the analysis of the text which is coming in. So it's going to decide whether I want something to be turned on, switched on or off, or I want some statistics on the solar, and then obviously the code can be expanded to handle some other stuff. And finally, it's going to send out a text or generate a text and that text gets put into the response, and then we send it back to the phone. So that text can be sent back to Google just to say that text aloud. I have a couple of payload, these debug nodes here, so I can see what is happening. And you can ignore this bit because it's only for testing. And so I do all the analysis here. And as the result of the analysis, I do a couple of things. I try to determine what is the command that I want to execute. So let's say 1 is turning some stuff on, 2 is, well, we'll see the code. So so I create a couple of variables or couple of attributes of the payload objects. So first of all, I get the text back. So home, turn on the test light. So this is what I was saying to the phone previously, and we recognize that this is command 1, which is like turning stuff on or something related to ESPs, let's say, and I say that it's success true. So actually we managed to recognize something which we can act upon. And then we have a common value, which is 1 for on, 0 for off, and then that's the actual response. Okay, turning on the test light, and this is what we also send back here. And so this is the object which comes out of this function node, and all we are doing here is, well, first of all, we are checking if this is valid. So the message payload success is true, then we know it's a valid command, so we need to do something. And then we check what's the payload, message payload command. So if it's 1, then it's like turning lights on and off. If it's 2, I think 2 is a solar, and 3 is probably something else. And then again we do like in the message payload command thing, I do like, okay, what is it that we want to do something with? So if it's, let's say, if it's the Christmas light, or in my case, if it's the test light, and then in this function node, I try to figure out what to do with it. So again, in this example, I have a son-of switch, and I'm going to control it via HTTP. So I just construct a URL, GPIO 12, and the on-off state comes through this command underscore value. I just pass that, and then it goes out to a HTTP request, and I just echo the URL here, so I can see it on the editor, and that's pretty much it. So let's see what this magic code does. So first we get the text that we get from the phone, and if you remember, it's it is supplied in the text parameter within the in the request. So I can get it by referencing as message.request.query.text. I'm setting some defaults, so let's say it's false by default. And first I remove any rubbish from the text. So by the way, this text is exactly same as this one. So home, turn on the test light. So this is what I was saying to the phone. So first of all, I'm converting everything to lowercase. It just makes the code easier, and I'm just replacing, or actually removing, some of these words, like, okay, aid to home, well, because I know that everything starts with a home, so I'm getting rid of that, and also lights. So anything which is not required for the actual analysis for the code, like any of these, I don't know, sort of meaningless words, I'm just removing it from here in the beginning. And the next, I'm looking for some keywords. So if I say turn, I know that I need to, turn something on, but I can also say switch. So these two groups of line, or these two if statement, say that if I find turn or switch in the remaining text, after removing all the rubbish, then at least I know that I'm dealing with a command 1, so I need to turn something on and off. But if I find solar in the command, this is going to be command 2, so I need to do something with the solar system, or yeah, and it's unlikely that you want to turn the solar on and off. So again, there are some assumptions built into the code. and what I'm doing here is again based on a lot of assumptions. So what the code is assuming is that when you want to turn something on, you are going to request it in a way that turn, then you state the state, which in this case can be on or off, and the actual thing that you want to turn off. So I was saying turn on the test light. And by the time we come here, we don't have sorry, going back here. So we say that we will try to see if the command contains the turn or the switch, and then we say that yes, if it contains, then we know that we want to turn something on, and I immediately remove that from the command. So by the time we come here from this home turn on the test light, we have initially removed home, we removed the turn, we removed the so all we have left here is on test light. And what I'm doing here is I'm finding the first space and in this command. So remember, it's now, it only says on test lights, so the first space is going to be after on, and I'm saying that I'm creating two variables. So the voice state is everything left of the first space, so that's going to be like on or off, and the voice thing is going to be everything which is right from the first space, so that's going to be test light in my case. So once I have that, I'm going to evaluate the state. So if it's on, then the command value is 1. If it's off, the command value is 0. And if you have some other states, then you can implement them here. And next, when we try to work with the command, so up in the code we have identified that if it's something to do with solar, it's going to be command 2. If it's something to do with turning or switching, it's going to be command 1. So I say that if the payload command is 1, if the payload command is 2, then it's solar, and I know that the only thing I can do with solar is I can give you the statistics, because that's already being collected in Node-RED. So I'm just going to quickly say that message.payload.response is the solar system is generating blah 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 blah. So this is a text with some dynamic variables or dynamic data. All there is to it. So I'm just going to store it in the response. If it's if the command is 1, so it's all about turning and switching, then I just do a switch statement on the thing that I need to turn. So if it's Christmas light, then the command thing is going to be son of 1. So I'm just basically replacing this Christmas light with a different variable that I know I need, that I'm going to evaluate later on. And in the response, I'm saying, okay, turning, state the thing. And I'm saying that the success was true. So this was something that we need to evaluate later on. And same for the test light. So if it's a test light, then response is this one, exactly same as the one above, and the success is true, and the common thing is test. And if for any other cases, I'm just going to say that, sorry, I didn't understand turning like on the Christmas light. I mean, this is not going to happen because it will evaluate by this statement. But again, if you say any other state or any other thing that is not recognized by the code, then you will hear this message from the phone and nothing is going to get executed. So everything is nicely packaged in the payload, in the different sort of like attributes within the payload object, and all we do is we return the message object, and then the processing continues as I just explained. So first of all, we are sending the stuff back to sending the response back on HTTP. We can say the response, and then we evaluate whether it was like a turning thing, whether the command thing was, let's say, the test, and if all this is true, then we send out a command to either do a GPIO 12.0, like turning something off, or GPIO 12.1, to turn something on or turn this particular son of on or off. And as you can see from the trace, from the debug window, yes, this was the one when we turned on the light. So the on now corresponds to the command value 1, and the test light corresponds to the command thing test. And then when I said off, it's almost exactly the same. The only difference is the command value, and the command value is being used here in the request, which goes out to the son of. So this is how I can send out GPI 012.0 or 12.1. And the last thing is I ask about the solar statistics, and that was again the response. So that's pretty much it. If you're planning to use this particular code, then all of the coding needs to be done here, and I think the code is, hopefully is pretty modular as well. So if you have any other commands, you need to expand this structure, and if you need more turning, then you have to add new cases here. If you have different states, then you have to add again different if statements here. And if you want to implement something completely new, like some other data that you want Node-RED to respond to you, again, you can create another handle, just like I did for the solar one. But that's pretty much it. Again, you find the link to this particular example in the video description. I hope you like it and you manage to reuse it for your own particular application. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.